Float valve definition, function, control system, advantages, problems, and remedial measures. The float in the valve detects the elevation of free surface of liquid and then opens and closes the valve according to the requirement. In toilet cisterns, small float valves are used to measure flush water. For domestic cold water applications, float valves are made to suit 22 mm and 15 mm copper wire. They are designated as high pressure and low pressure for different conditions. Seat area of high pressure valves are smaller and are able of working up to 16 bars, while in some areas pressure of water supply can be up to 2 bars. Function of float valve. Brass or bronze is used to cast domestic valves. Generally, float valves closes as the liquid surface rises, but in case of industries it is reversed. The float valve is mounted above the liquid level on the side of tank for allowing maintenance without emptying the tank. On low-cost valves, liquid level is maintained by bending ball arm, while the float valve, which are superior in quality, have bolted connection arm. Advantages of float valve. Float valves can prevent overflow or overfilling of tanks when liquid needs to divert instead of dumping and drain. Appropriate valve is provided at the tank base with outlet pipe through the wall of tank, and the valve communicate with the float arrangement provided by links. For overflow control or for filling, large float valves are constructed in same manner like poppet style controlled closure non-return valve. Combination float valve are used for controlling water level in steam condensers. The body of valve is bolted to the condenser wall and all parts are being subjected to condenser vacuum. The combination included 2 double beat piston valve. Due to flooded condition, condenser loses capacity, then it can lead to serious consequences. When the valve shows water level high position, then the bottom valve is open for allowing condensate to drain into hot well. Problems associated with float valve. Surge problem arises when float valves generates waves on surface of liquid, and due to these waves, float valves modulate and change the rate at which liquid is flowing. Water hammer is induced when modulation occurs near the valve closure, and seat and disc can be damaged. Due to surge, inlet process system suffers disturbance problems and pressure gauge vibrates and needles fall off. The surface of liquid must be stable to eradicate this problem. Piping the outlet under the surface and diffusion of flow, stilling tubes across the tank can prevent the movement of surface. Remedial measures to counter the problem. As far as possible, the load is spread because the valve results in developing crack to the tank wall. It will lead to serious consequences. Balanced valves or equilibrium float valves are used for solving the problem due to high operating torque. Balanced valves work in same manner to double beat globe valves. The balanced valves have a balanced piston and the valve. The balanced piston have area same as the area of the valve, but it is loaded in opposite direction with the same inlet pressure. A small friction introduced in balanced piston can also reduce the operating torque significantly. Materials and size. The material used for float valves are stainless steel, cast iron, and gunmetal. Nominal pressure, PN, up to PN 20 is normal. These valves are available in size DN 15 nominal diameter to DN 300. Control system of float valves. 1. Float switch. It can be used as control switches or as alarm devices to turning on the off pump or for sending signal to the valve actuator. Float switch have switched output, and it can be electromechanical or solid state, normally closed or open. The float switch provides control over motors which pumps liquid into a tank or from a sump, but the tank operation is exactly opposite to the sump operation. On the basis of location of float and liquid, the float switch is actuated. 2. Float valve. It is mounted on reservoir or tank inlet, and it can closes when level of water rises by filter discharge pressure, which is acting with tension spring on top of diaphragm valve cover. When float descends due to drop in level of water by filter discharge pressure acting under valve disc, the float valve get open. In general, level of water is maintained at the maximum point. Thanks for watching.